Alright, I feel like I'd kind of like to read up on both of these two. Because, oh, we leveled up. That's good. Level 33. Like I said, 34 is the key level because that's when we can start to use the Mastercrafted Witcher gear. So we're getting very close to that. But I am very intrigued to read more about Sheila, who, well, does appear to have deceased. But she was a huge player, one of the biggest characters in The Witcher 2. Geralt and I both knew Sheila de Tancerville, the recluse of Kovir, the once proud member of the large sorceresses, who in her day plotted, persuaded, and spellcast. Okay, Witcher 2 spoilers incoming here. But, who in her day plotted, persuaded, and spellcast the world into a shape of her liking. Sheila always claimed she acted only out of concern of the good of magic and mankind. Yet, the blood of a great many people stained her hands, including that of kings, who stood in the way of her aims. She took part in countless conspiracies and herself devised many intrigues in which the Witcher often figured as an unwilling accomplice, obstacle, or incidental victim. Thus, Geralt's prior meetings with the sorceress were stormy at best. On at least one occasion, it could be said that Geralt saved Sheila's life. This is true. But this did not mean he felt very warmly about her. Be that as it may, the sight of the tortured and maimed sorceress in King Radovid's dungeon made the Witcher's cold heart swell with sorrow and sympathy. Perhaps it was these feelings, or perhaps it was simply respect for a defeated former enemy now suffering at the hands of cruel fanatics, that made Geralt take pity on her. I suppose it's fair to say that she was our enemy. I mean, yeah, she was our enemy, I suppose. Aware of what fate awaited her if she lived, Sheila de Tancerville was grateful to be given a dignified death, one free from torment and humiliation. That's true, I suppose. If we had left her there, then... Well, I assumed that she was, like, minutes away from just feeling over. But I suppose if left to the devices of the guards that we did sort of kill, but presumably others would have eventually come, then they would have probably tortured her excessively. So, in that sense, we did spare her from that fate. But let's see, so that's Sheila, who unfortunately it appears, like I said, there was no way for us to save her. The other person, I already forget her name, Margarita M. Okay. So I know next to nothing about her, because she was not in any of the other games. But I assume perhaps a character in the books. The full list of Margarita Lantiel's outstanding mental, spiritual, and physical attributes would consume a mountain of parchment. Rita, as her fellows called her, once held the position of rector at the Aretusa Academy for Sorceresses on the Isle of Thanet, the same school attended by her famous ancestor, Ilona Loxantiel. Do we know that? I don't know if we know that name. Well, we probably heard it, but I don't remember it well. Quite unusually, for one of her position, Margarita showed no interest in politics. Yeah, that's one of the things about the sorceresses, is they do dabble a lot in messing around with kings and armies and trying to play, political chess, basically. That's basically the entirety of the plot of The Witcher 2. So, to hear that she's not one to mess around with those politics is perhaps a bit refreshing. It was only care for the good of her school that led her to join the Lodge of Sorceresses. Finally, her beauty deserves mention as well. It was said that not even the marble likeness of goddesses and nymphs chiseled out by the greatest sculptors could rival this sorceress's figure. Now, of course, we did see her bent over and, face smudged and imprisoned, so probably not on her A game right now, but okay. Yet with all her astuteness, Loxantiel still could not escape the same fate that so many of her fellows met. She had been arrested sometime before our tales began, and was staying in the Oxenford prison, awaiting a summary and predetermined trial. Only Geralt and Yennefer's daring jailbreak saved Margarita from certain execution. Okay, So I mean, yeah, that was what I would have liked to have been able to do with Sheila as well, although ultimately it appears as though there perhaps was no way to make that happen. I'm seeing some drop loot here. Is that something that we dropped previously? Or there is some loot here. Right on top of us? I don't know. Looks like it's this, but maybe it's not that. Let's just get out of here. It does appear as though, yeah, directing us over in this direction where we did reach the surface and did fight all those guards. So I imagine there are few, if any, remaining at this stage, but I suppose it's possible there's some reinforcements up here. Whoa, oh, hello! This is actually not exactly the direction we went in previously. Is you, sir? I would like to actually go that route and flame you. Okay, more diamond reading shackles, which I suppose is something, but again, we were like right on the cusp of being encumbered, and we are now encumbered. So let's just walk around that little stool, which apparently is actually extremely difficult to walk around. Try looting this stuff here and just see what, if anything, exists here that may still be worth picking up. I think we're probably not far away from being able to sell some stuff here. First world of insectoids. Huh? One is hard-pressed to think of a creature more hardworking and better organized than the Intriga. Ants, bees, and termites are no match for them in this regard. Intriga's best even humans when it comes to foresightedness and industry. Whoa! In fact, the human race could benefit a great deal from following their example, resigning from the primitive and obsolete social structures of feudalism and adopting instead a form of arachno-communism. Oh! Okay. In arachno-communism, every individual has a specific place and performs a specific labor for the common good. Roles are as follows: worker, soldier, and queen. Each comrade contributes to the necessary daily toil according to his special abilities, and takes from the common fund of wealth according to his special needs. Now, the reason why I was surprised when I started reading this was because I heard the quest update sound, and it was that, not entirely sure what that was for. So on one hand, it could have been Great Escape, or it could have been something for even Free Spirit if we did it. In fact, managed to pick up one of the last remaining books that our book enthusiast needs, although kind of doubtful of that because I did not see any exclamation points next to that book, so don't think that is the case. The primary reason why I made a point of actually reading it was because I think those books that are about various types of enemies, and because certainly are types of enemies that we've fought in the past, those ones, this is the actual way out, those ones can give you additional information about those enemies in terms of how you can fight them more efficiently. Oh, how about this stuff as well? This stuff is weightless though, so that's fine. Now I'm kind of thinking we just walk our way out of here because we're, like feet away, moments away from making that happen. Except do we need to go? We might need to go up all these staircases. Alright, so we'll have to wind around a bit. Fair enough. This is true. But I think we'll live for the next minute before we can make our way over to a shopkeeper somewhere, and then we'll sell all our various random swords that we picked up. And then we'll no longer be encumbered, so shouldn't be much of a problem, especially if you consider that we spent a very long time walking around super encumbered. Did we jump this? I mean, that is water below us. So I guess? I think we've escaped? Question mark? We received a bunch of experience. Yes. Okay. We have successfully freed Margarita. Now, some question as to what exactly we will end up, or how exactly she will end up contributing. I would like to get the chance to sell some stuff. Where actually are we in the city right now? We're at this west gate here. I was gonna say, a little reluctant to walk up to these Redanian guards, because although they shouldn't be looking to pick a fight with us, we did, of course, encounter that tax collector when we were perusing around the streets previously, and we are perhaps at risk of having something similar happen here if we were to continue to explore not Novigrad, I'm calling it Novigrad, but Oxenford further. So maybe we just fast travel out of here and then stick to the trading in Novigrad more directly, and maybe we go to Hierarch Square first to just sell stuff, then head over to talk to Triss. Let's go that route, I think. Okay, so Hierarch Square is also the closest to tradespeople, I would think, assuming that it's not the middle of the night. You're a cultist?
Greetings.
Just like openly label yourself as a cultist in the middle of town. That's bold. I am curious if anything can come of this hanging out here. Occasionally when we hang out next to conversations like this, that does happen, but not sure it's going to be the case this time around. We might have seen something similar to this in the past.
Best not cause any trouble at the inn.
And they're burning stuff, obviously. But yeah, it does seem as though the population of witch hunters has, dare I say, increased. I mean, there were always a lot in here. This is probably our preferred shopkeeper. Well, actually, what are we? Yeah, we're looking to sell like swords primarily. This is a good person for us to sell those swords to. Let's meditate so we aren't trying to sell this guy swords at 2 a.m. When do we think he opens up shop? We'll wait until noon. Now the armor is here.
Top-notch swords.
And we're going to sell you top-notch swords. Thank you very much.
Show me what you have in stock.
So, basically I think we're just going to dump all of our low-quality items that we just picked up. Yeah, and we can't sell. We did end up ultimately picking up at least a little bit of bolts, crossbow bolts. Might make sense to break down silver swords to get more silver, because that's a little bit more valuable. But it may still just not matter much. Might just go for the normal sale. And yeah, these guys, I mean, if they're worth like 60-ish a piece, are we going to make up for the 1,000 coins that we had to spend to pay off our taxes? I don't know about that, but so at least help. I think we were at right around 60,000 before that happened, because I think we dropped to around 59,000 when that happened at the end of it. So somehow we dropped down lower still. I don't remember us paying for more things after that. But sell this and sell this and sell this and sell this. This is our price checking reference guide. So we're gonna continue to hold on to you. But I mean, not that it has to continue to be that. It could really be any item, but it's a thing now. So question just becomes, do we sell the silver sword or do we break down into silver? I think we have a lot of silver, so we're probably fine just selling this guy. And yeah, so we got close getting back up to 60,000, but we did not make it. We do have, I think, some other more junk-like items, but this weaponsmith person's not gonna take them. Probably would like to, well, so we could sell the Dimeridium shackles. And they're worth 60 or 59 a piece, which is, I mean, with 7 of them, that is something. But reason why I was remarking about them previously, because, oh no, hold on, that was the right place. Because we can get, oh, it's glowing ore we get out of them. That's kind of hard to get. So I am tempted to go that route. Now this does cost a little bit of money. Is that? Yeah, it's 252 to dismantle 7 of them. I was gonna say, if that's for one of them, that is an exorbitant price, so no thank you. But for all 7, yeah, we'll do it, just because I think it probably does ultimately pay out. Break down black magic dolls now. I think it's yeah, any of these metal items that we could potentially get. I mean, iron ore is not that impressive. Like, the ingot's marginally better, I suppose. So, sure. If it costs 5 coins to dismantle them, then why not? You know, it's extremely cheap. So, sure, we'll do this to get additional crafting items as well. Modern Knife, I was actually planning on using that for combat. So, maybe not the best idea to break it down, but, yeah, I think this should now be fine, and now we're at 114 out of 160 weight units, so doing much better in that regard. We have some furs we could still sell, but few enough of them. I don't think that's making much of a difference here. Should be fine. I mean, rotting flesh does weigh a bit, and we have actually accumulated a reasonable amount of it, so we should just drop that.
So long.
We should just drop that altogether. Where are you, though? Category doesn't fall. No, it's over here, right? Yeah. Get out of here. Could have turned it into ashes though if we really wanted to. Nah, no thanks. Oh, what's this? Hold on, missed the silver stuff. This is the stuff that's actually valuable. Silver candelabrum, silver teapot. I thought we had those, yet for some reason did not see them. Did not see them when we were looking to break them down. That is the stuff we actually want to break down. That actually gives us good stuff. We go to the crafting screen, but technically we need to do this. Okay, so you were hiding on me. There you see, get some silver, or in that case, ingot in this case, which is better. So that's great. Yeah, that's much better. It costs a little bit more, but so be it.
So long.
Still doing pretty well monetarily. I mean, I don't really know, other than upgrading our gear again, we have one more round of doing. There isn't much else that we really have on our agenda for selling things. There's also the bookkeeper dude over, where is he, here? So we can actually make a decent amount off of selling random books to you. You're the only person, really, that we can do that with.
Books of yours.
And by let's see these books, I mean, we're actually going to sell you books. We don't really care at all about your books that you want to sell to us. Nah, that's not interesting. Okay, so we're looking for basically just books that have no plot significance at all, and we have lots of them just buried down here at the bottom, perhaps. Not the ones that are like this person's notes. Things like this. Slaughter of Sintra. 30 coins. How to avoid colossal vessels. 44 coins. It adds up surprisingly quickly. You can actually only afford one of those. Yeah, we have a bunch of these, so you're too poor to buy all this stuff off of us, but we'll take that. That'll do. That makes up for a little bit of the coins we spent on, yeah, you know, it maybe covers for the dismantling cost that we were just doing. Something like that, if you want to look at it that way. And then we sell like our furs to you.
Welcome.
Again, we just have like
Welcome.
not much. It's not much, but
What have you got there?
while we have the chance to do it, we might as well. Because we're going to be running around a lot. No, you actually won't buy. These are the things I was looking to sell. I think there is another person who's very close by who will, so if we really wanted to, we could probably still make it happen. The thing that you do, you will buy alchemy ingredients from us, like our 100 plus essences of Wraith. Oh my goodness. This is worth 2,800 coins, and we might have more of them. That's actually insane. Harpy Talon's worth 1,000. Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. So yeah, some of the enemies that we've fought a bazillion times, like drowners, worth 580 collectively. Just sell them. And at least as many as you can afford to buy from us, which is not nearly as much as we have. This person over here should... Okay, come on. Finish your sales pitch so we can actually sell to you. you should be able to buy
What
our
have you got
verbs.
there?
You're also a book person? You will buy these things from us, so, okay. You just do that, and it didn't even move our weight at all. It didn't really matter. I'm sure we'll sell you a candle as well, because why not? I would laugh if that was actually the one that bumped us down, but yeah.
So long.
We're fine. We're fine. There we go. With style. Okay, so yeah, I think what we do now is we head over to Triss and we kind of got a sneak peek as to what her quest is going to be about. He's also looking to try to recruit some of the members of the Lodge of Sorceresses.
Thanks for your help.
She's particularly going to be looking for Philippa. And we have some hints as to where Philippa might be as well. Okay, so any reason to chat with Dandelion or others here? Or anything that we need to put back in our stash? Oh, Harball. I wanted to throw Harball in there.
It's far safer with you.
Hello! Don't mind us. So Harball, I mean, maybe even Hjalmar's Steel Sword. If we're not going to use it anytime soon, might as well throw the Tracking Bolt in there as well, because we're not really going to use that either. Hjalmar's Steel Sword. Probably never going to use it again. But it's probably safe to just sell it or break it down into components, but at the same time, I do really love the crit damage on it, but the longer we hold on to it, the more the base damage is going to get just to be too low for us. But we'll stash it. And then this is the one that is coming from Proc. And in theory, we lent this, or we borrowed this sword, and we need to give it back to him. So just remember, we can't sell it. Probably want to keep it on us, just in case that opportunity comes unexpectedly for us to give it back to him. But I think that'll suffice. Oh, we also have a skill point that we've not yet allocated. Let's do that. So, let's see. I think we just need, how many more? We need one more point, and then the final row here will get unlocked for the combat tree. So I think in that case, why don't we finish Razor Focus, give us crazy adrenaline point generation, and now we can, in fact, with our next level or next skill point, start going for, what was it? Either Deadly Precision or Sunder Armor was more so what I was thinking we might prioritize. But that is for a future occasion,
My wife's and mum's.
because we don't yet have that experience just yet. So, Triss, you're in here. You are not going to be
Greetings,
pleased with
Triss.
us.
Have you lost your mind? You went after Imlerith by yourselves? To the Sabbath? How could you put CIRI in danger?
So, I mean, it did go well. I'm kind of intrigued to see if there's different options that we might
Come on, we came out
go
of
with
it
here,
fine.
but at the same time,
Can't say
it
the
did
same
seem
for
like this
Imlerith.
worked out reasonably well.
That's the sole comfort I find in this. But it's no justification.
Because it was the sole comfort
You
you
know
found in
what
that.
might have happened?
But it didn't. I was there, had the situation under control. Mind if we change the subject?
Okay, I mean, so we did have this technically, kind of, sort of, in an alternate timeline, have this conversation with Triss earlier. But
Past burning pyres on the way into
for the
town,
sake of having
non-humans on
this
the-
conversation, or at least making this
Things
point,
grow worse by the day.
I mean,
No
maybe
mages
we
left in the
skip
city,
it
so
for
the hunters
this
had to find
reason.
someone else
Like,
to
just make
victimize.
the point of making sure
We
this
need to
conversation
resolve
happens.
everything
I
as
mean,
quickly as possible. and
generally
leave them
speaking, those
overgrown.
little lighter text options tend not to be of any particular plot significance, but anyways.
Any success with the lodge?
This is the
Anyone out there
important one.
willing to help?
It doesn't look good. Ida outright refused, while Francesca won't budge from her little realm with a war raging. We don't know about Fringilla. Haven't
Right.
been able to contact her.
I hear
Yeah,
she's
my
not very
rescue
strong
will
anyway.
find
I
out.
don't think we want Brenda
I
to
know.
go.
Dandelion set her up in a room upstairs. She's resting, slowly recovering.
Damn shame Kira won't be here to help.
True, but there's still a chance we'll find Philippa. Did a little investigating. Learned some interesting things.
Namely,
Want the long or the short version?
All right, okay. So we did get this. And when we did this conversation previously, we went for the long version, and it was helpful information, yes, but like I said, we have technically heard this. So maybe we just try the short one this time around to see how it differs.
guess.
In short, she was here, at this inn, under our noses the whole time. Transformed, seated on her perch with a dimeridian band on her leg.
Zoltan's owl?
Mm-hmm.
So why isn't she here anymore?
Because Zoltan lost her in a card game a few days ago.
Yep. All right, that figures. We did no way last time, so let's figure this time.
Yep, that's Zoltan for you.
Aw,
A
Zoltan.
man showed up here,
He's not that
fleeced
bad.
Zoltan Bear, then proposed
Come
they
on.
play for the owl. Naturally, he won, then politely thanked Zoltan for the game and left.
Who was it? Know where he lives?
He's not from here.
Yeah,
no
we
one
don't
knows
really
him.
know.
Great. We got any leads?
We have this.
All right, we have the feather. Okay.
That Philippa the Owl's feather? Thinking divination?
Specifically hydromancy and a form of sortilege. We need a
What
fountain
do
where
those
we won't
words
be
mean?
disturbed.
So I'm kind of curious to see if we could check in on Margarita. I think Trish was saying that she's healing upstairs, and so I'm kind of interested to see if we can have a little conversation with her now. I mean, my guess is that long term, of course, she'll play a much bigger role, but let's see. If we meet Trish later,
Need to take care of
might
something
be
first.
able
Meet you somewhere
to
later.
give that a shot now.
Fine. The fountain outside the Passiflora. And hurry, please.
There's also that chance that we try talking to Margarita. She's like, "Oh, hello," and doesn't actually say anything significant. I certainly wouldn't rule that out. Okay, more of the stuff that we were just selling to other people, but now we need to go up. My guess is she's up in the room that Avlok was in previously, but I don't know definitively. I was thinking you would be in here. Are you in here? I do not see anyone in here. Did I mishear what Trish said? Quite possibly. Unless you're like, villain? Out on the balcony? But you don't appear to be? Yeah, because admittedly I was kind of talking over Trish when she made this point, because I thought the conversation was going to be completely identical to the one that we had previously. Yeah. Which ones are those? But anyways, I mean, maybe she's in a different room. Not this one up here. Thought Trish said that she was in a room higher up, though. Like, that's one room over from where we were chatting with Trish. In another one on this floor? I mean, if not, then we'll just... Oh, well, CIRI's here. Hello. Did not expect to see you there. Kind of just ran straight into you.
Of course.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, so this is kind of the stuff that I was thinking we might try to do with Margarita, although I have a lot of stuff to talk to CIRI about. So, before you returned, where were you and what did you do? I mean, before you returned, you have to be a little bit more specific than that. So you've been here and there a lot.
Once you'd left Yen and me on the Isle of Avalon, what happened to you? What did you do?
I traveled through time, space, different worlds. I saw houses of glass, ran with unicorns at the world's end. Even lived in an undersea kingdom for a time.
That's pretty sweet. It's
Freedom.
pretty awesome.
Always had a taste for it.
I still do.
So why'd you return?
It was too much. I almost drowned in it. When everything is possible,
This is in the underwater
it
world,
becomes
right?
a lot less alluring.
Alright. I'm sorry. Bad dad joke. What's it like to travel between worlds? I mean, we've done a little bit of it ourselves, at least as of late with Avlok, but you are far more experienced with that than we are.
Traveling between worlds. What's it like?
It's nice.
Difficult?
It was at first. But in time, it became automatic, like riding a horse.
Yeah, that's
Bet
crazy.
a lot of mages would love to learn to do it.
Yeah.
I'm certain they would. But Avalok claims they've neither the knowledge nor talent. He spent 4 centuries learning to do it. Yet
Oh.
can still only find and pass through pre-existing portals. I go wherever I please, whenever I please.
Yeah, that's very powerful, for sure. And also, so many things you could do with that ability. So many things. Like, run with unicorns and live in an underwater city and whatnot. Just to name a few. But, can't even imagine what other possibilities there might be. But, oh, what is this? Some advice on Yennefer from CIRI. I'm curious.
So, need your advice. about
I'm guessing
Yennefer.
this is,
Very well.
romantic
Ask away.
advice, if you will.
Thing is, I'd like to take her somewhere.
Oh.
Once it's over. Someplace picturesque, beautiful even, where we can rest. You've been almost everywhere. Also know Yen well. Any ideas? I was thinking Spala, or maybe Dolblathana.
The first roadside inn you pass, take her there. Pay for a month in advance, carve "Do Not Disturb" into the room door, and shut it behind you.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Alright, I suppose that is one approach to take. Thank you, CIRI. It's a kind of a weird thing to suggest to what are basically your parents. How does Iridan locate you? Yes, so that is the King of the Wild Hunt, whom somehow always is able to track CIRI, particularly whenever she does use her teleportation abilities.
Eridan's located you time and again. How's that work?
When I pass between worlds, I create a kind of shockwave. Anyone properly trained can sense it. That's how Avalok explains it, at any rate. He can do it too.
So you shouldn't actually ever use your power.
It's not like that. The impulse is stronger the longer my voyage. On short hops, the disturbance is practically imperceptible.
Okay, so like for example, when we're in combat with CIRI, rather than having the usual like sidestep or dodge roll that Geralt has, she does basically teleport much shorter distances than, traveling to an entirely different world, of course, but I suppose that's maybe something that's along those lines that she's talking about, where you wouldn't actually create a large enough disturbance to attract the attention of the Wild Hunt, otherwise we'd be doing that a lot, even more than she usually does. But anyways, that looks like it from CIRI.
I should go.
All right, we'll talk
Is
later.
this Mass Effect now? I should go. Okay, any other friends hanging out here that we can chat with? Because, yeah, like I said, did not really expect to bump into CIRI there. Okay, here's Yen.
Geralt,
Maybe we can chat more with you? Oh, we did! Oh my goodness, this was like the first item we ever picked up. Hold on, I am curious to check that one out, see what this gives us, but, or where this goes. But let's start off with the littler things first. Let's talk about the past, the Wild Hunt. Ooh.
Ever think about the past? About your time with the hunt?
At times, I'm amazed we survived.
I mean, did she ever
Eridan's not
actually
usually
get,
one to
she
leave
did get
witnesses
abducted by the Hunt,
behind.
right?
That's just it. He didn't. Lost my memory when I escaped the hunt.
Ah, yes. Your famous amnesia.
You didn't have it?
For a short time only. Once the Emperor's mages got their hands on me, my memory quickly returned.
Okay. Time with the Hunt, what do you remember? Like, comparatively speaking, how long was she with the Wild Hunt relative to us? Were we there longer, or was she? I get the impression that we were there much longer than her, because, we made the whole... Okay, like, huge spoilers here, but we made the whole exchange. So, what do you
When the
remember?
hunt had you. Hope they didn't hurt you.
Even if they did, I've no memory of it. The whole time's but a string of phantom images. Blood and fire. A wild chase through different worlds. All shrouded in fog. Though I do remember you coming for me. Trading your life for mine. I hadn't the chance to thank you then.
You'd have done the same for me.
I'm touched by your certainty.
I'm not entirely sure about that, to tell you the
You've
truth.
yet to tell me how you escaped them.
Wouldn't mind knowing that myself.
Well,
There are times I remember
Avlok
rushing
did give us an
forward,
explanation
Red
previously.
riders around me. Next thing I know, I'm in the woods at the foot of Kaer That's it.
according to Avlok, the answer is that actually CIRI came and traveled through space and time to rescue us. Which is pretty crazy, but pretty awesome, if that is actually true. What did the Wild Hunt want from you?
What did Eridan want from you exactly?
The same thing he wanted from you. You don't recall?
Draw a blank on most of my time with him.
We were bait, Geralt. Both of us. Eridan believed Ciri would come for us sooner or later and he would
I
capture
see.
her.
Well, in some ways
Fortunately,
he...
she didn't fall for it.
Well, she may have, actually. If she was ultimately the one to rescue us, then yes, she did, in fact, come to the Wild Hunt to free us. But she succeeded. Okay, what happened in Nilfgaard? Man, these are like so many questions that are dating back to The Witcher 1, in this case, more so The Witcher 2, but things that we've just been having in the back of our minds but never really gotten the chance to outright address.
How do you go from being the Emperor's hostage to being his ally?
One day, the door of my cell opened, and instead of seeing the usual officer, I saw Emir.
Oh, you know,
He promised to
just
release
casually
me
have an
and
emperor
grant
rather
me
than a
free
warden
reign
show
of
up.
the Imperial
A
Treasury,
guard.
provided I did what he asked.
He told you about Ciri, and you accepted his offer. Why?
Shared aims make for strange bedfellows. I knew I had to find Ciri before Eridan did, and if any man had the power and the means to help me, it was the Emperor. Besides,
Not wrong. Oh,
once
well,
all
and us.
said and done, he is her father.
That is also technically true. Oh yeah, and I forget if I've ever asked this before, but I've been thinking it. So Ciri has the Elder Blood. Now, does that just kind of happen spontaneously? Basically, because Ciri has Elder Blood, does that mean that like she got it from Emir or her mother? Does it get passed down from one generation to the next, genealogically? Because I would think that it would. You know, if it is quite literally your blood. But if it's like some other magical thing that's sort of like a mutation of sorts or something like that just happens randomly, then maybe not. But, you know, it just seems a little bit strange that Ciri has this extremely powerful ability, and she has two totally normal parents? Question mark? Or does she not? And I suppose there's a chance there are spoilers in that. So if there are, then don't answer that question. But just makes you wonder, is all. But yeah, Yen, why didn't you come to try to save us when we were part of the Wild Hunt?
Why didn't you look for me after you'd recovered your
Oh,
memory
and
your
that
freedom?
part too.
I assumed you would
Yeah.
recover quickly and find me first.
You had
Thanks.
mages to help you. I was on my own.
Well, not entirely. Besides, I knew you'd fled the hunt. Eridan would never have let you go. He'd erased my memory, but you escaped. It was wholly possible he hadn't had the chance with you. And there were your Witcher mutations. I expected they'd stave off any serious
I
injury.
don't know there. That's some weak excuses. We waited 2 games to finally find you. Best you can say is, you were a Witcher, you were gonna be alright. What did we talk about earlier? Like our relationship, I'm thinking is what this one's implying?
Still can't get something out of my mind.
What?
Oh, yes, the Djinn. That, by extension, would be our feelings for one another.
So, feel any different after our encounter with the Djinn?
Yes. Now I feel regret.
Mean to say that?
That I regret we didn't try that earlier. Much earlier.
Think we
Okay,
would have
making me
argued
a
less.
little
Quite
bit
the
nervous.
opposite. But the other moments would have been more intense as well. Moments like this.
Okay, well, Okay, good. I was gonna say, don't really mean to turn that into anything more than that, but so thing here is that at the very beginning of the game, we picked up, what was it, like the Raven Skull or something like that that was from Yennefer, and then we went the entirety of the game without ever giving it to her, but apparently, you know, it's hers. I don't really know why she needs it, but I mean, here?
Found something that might belong to you. That skull some sort of accessory? If so, you've changed your style a bit.
It's a weapon.
Don't remember ever seeing any of that.
It's as you said. I've changed my style.
Okay, but sure?
Thanks, Yen. See you later.
Okay, and we get some experience out of that. I think that's probably for giving her the item. Rather than, you know, just random conversation. Oh, Margarita is here. Can we chat? It looks like she's in a deep snooze. A deep slumber. Probably best if we, you know, let her sleep. Because, she's been through a lot as of late. Okay. And no, that's not the way down here.
We'll have order at last. Long live Radovid.
Excuse me, long live Radovid? I suppose, you know, Dandelion and Zoltan maybe don't have much of a stake either way in what happens to Radovid. They may not care that well. I mean, besides the whole thing where he's like contributing toward persecuting all non-humans, and that obviously includes Zoltan. So yeah, maybe they do have reason to be rather upset with Radovid doing his thing here. We did try chatting with Zoltan and Dandelion recently, so I don't think we're gonna have any similar types of conversations to have with them. I think for the most part, been there, done that already. Okay, let's see if we can in fact get over to Triss now. And where exactly is she? She's way up here. Oh, by the past floor. I do remember her saying that. We could fast travel. Yeah, but still, I mean, by the time you consider the loading screen, it's perhaps not much better. And I was kind of curious to see if anything else has changed in the city, because we're seeing at least, certainly in Oxenfurt, we found a few extra things. I mean, granted, one of them was us now having to pay additional taxes. Guard here to prevent us from stealing this stuff? Doesn't really look like it. So, we'll take it. Thanks. But yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily rule out finding something that's a little bit new here. But then again, Novigrad is also way, way bigger than Oxenfurt. Which, I mean, maybe that means you'd expect more new things to pop up here, or maybe that just means if there are, then they might be more spread out and harder to find. But let's head on over either way. Because this, I believe, will be the past floor that we're looking at momentarily. That it is. And Triss is here. Let's save real quick. I believe that's her.
Sure you weren't followed?
Yeah.
I mean, well, we weren't exactly very discreet. So maybe could have done a little bit better in that
Let's
regard.
begin. Observe the water's surface carefully. You can't let anything go unnoticed.
And what are we? Oh, right, that whole like hydromancy thing.
Thuir, Robert Mekele, Alvelte. Graham et Thuir, Deagnis Kerle, es Pirshena a es Clays.
Looks familiar. A bathhouse. I know the place. Dijkstra. He has her at his bathhouse. Might have guessed as much.
Oh, yeah, he's not a fan. Or well, kind of, sort of. It's complicated. It's very complicated, actually. Was that the past or the future?
Was that the past or the future?
The recent past. We have to hurry.
Okay, the bathhouse. Let's go.
Let's go to the bathhouse. Might not be too late.
Come on.
Okay, we do have an entry on Philippa as well. I think it might be worth reading up on, because... Oh, no, not in there, though. Because lots of stuff is happening to her and about her. What is... Oberon Sharak, also known as the King of the Alders, was ruler of the far-off land of Tirnalia, world which is home to Avallac'h and the Wild Hunt. He died after being poisoned by Aerodin. Okay, so he was the king until Aerodin poisoned him. And he's the one that, what was it? Gel? Or whatever the guy who we were manipulating, basically. He was loyal to Oberon here, but not really to Aerodin. At least we made it such that, hopefully, he's no longer terribly loyal to Aerodin. So, he was poisoned by Aerodin, who then declared himself king. At the time of his death, Oberon had been exhausted and embittered by over 650 years of living. Yeah, I don't actually know how old most of the elves get. Avallac'h's entry is getting longer and longer. No, he is getting, of course, turning into a very significant character, and I suppose always had been, but we just didn't really know his identity to begin with. Drawing on his knowledge of internal on-El politics and the strengths and weaknesses of the Wild Hunt's commanders, Avallac'h crafted a plan to eliminate one of Aerodin's most powerful allies, his master of manipulation, Gels. In order to accomplish this, Avallac'h was willing to do anything, even risk a dangerous journey to Tirnalia. Okay, but the person we were really curious about was Philippa. Let's see if we can find you. There you are? Okay. So, I do believe we've read about you previously, but just want to see if there's anything new here, because I think there may be. Philippa's new owner? Dijkstra. Was it a coincidence that she was now in the hands of her spurned ex-lover and hated enemy? Chris certainly didn't think so, instead suspecting the former spy had woven a Gwent-centered web of subterfuge in order to settle some old scores. Perhaps. Perhaps. Blindingly obvious. Oh yes, I do remember that being the name of things. Let's just double check. What we are technically supposed to do here? Go to the bathhouse with Triss. Triss returned to Novigrad after leaving Kaer Morhen with one goal: to find Philippa Eilhart. Soon after, she made a shocking discovery. Philippa had been right under our very noses the whole time. Turned into an owl by some malicious spell. She then wound up in the hands of Zoltan, who, ignorant of his new pet's true identity, strived to make her a replacement for his former foul-mouthed parrot companion, Field Marshal Duda. Chris was not the only one to uncover Philippa's whereabouts, however. Coming to that conclusion slightly before her was Dijkstra, who shared with Philippa the strongest bond possible. Love turned to seething hate. Yeah, the strongest bond. The one-time spy and current mafia boss had captured Philippa and imprisoned her in his bathhouse. Chris and Geralt knew they must hurry. It was clear Dijkstra had not gone through all this trouble to chat with Philippa about old times. Vengeance was more likely on his agenda. Vengeance for breaking his heart and daring to plot against him.